get yourself to blame. Hi there, guys. How are you doing? Tutor Hafa here, the tutor of teachers. Guys, today I'm going to talk a little about the most difficult class I've ever had in my career. It was a 76-year-old CEO from China, and I'm gonna tell you why was this the most difficult class in terms of communication, and it was what we call a not non-linear communication. It was quite interesting, the experience. If you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and every day a new channel giving tips on how to start your career, improve on your current career in English. So to start, guys, I want to talk a little what is it like to teach international students, international business students. Something really interesting, an experience I would like to share with you. I've been teaching for quite a few years now. I would say 3 to 4 years. People from everywhere, mostly Spanish, Italian. They're like cousins to me, but a little further into Asia, like Oman and Thailand, the Philippines, and I got this 76-year-old CEO from China. So, what was the most interesting part, and you observe in these experiences, people from different cultures, all the most different various backgrounds, they get the focal point in the communication. They're trying to get the idea. Nobody cares about accent. Nobody cares if you're making mistakes or not. Corrections. This is something completely unheard of. Nobody corrects you when you're communicating. So this makes you feel free when you're communicating with these people, because basically the idea is trying to get all the facial expressions. You compose the scenario that they are trying to communicate. Now, let me explain the nonlinear communication. What happened? Many of his communication, the guy was extremely nice and friendly. Right from the beginning of the class, I called him by the first name. It was a quite different platform. I'm going to talk on a later video about these different platforms. And in this case, I got a free spot open in this platform, and then students from anywhere in the world can schedule a class and have a conversational 23-minute class with me. And then entered this man. I saw his name, and then I called him by the first name right at the beginning of the class. And then he put the camera on, and I saw he was much older and he was Asian. And I say, "Oh my God, I just called him by the first name. He's Asian. It's a different culture." And then I apologized. I called him, "Oh, Mr. Chang." I don't recall exactly the name. I never used real names from students. But anyhow, I start calling him. I apologized, started calling him by the last name. The guy didn't even care about that. And then we start communicating. I was like, "Let's go, brain. You go for the verbs, I go for the nouns. We can do it." And I became basically the student. I put myself in the student's shoes. I could understand the difficulties the students have, because I was building a non-linear communication. He was telling me stuff, and okay, I understand a little here. He's talking about factory. Yeah, they produce something. It's a company. And sometimes I would understand, I would make a follow-up question to make sure I understand what is the product in the factory. And then he was explaining the activities in his department. And I swear to God, sometimes 3 sentences after he mentioned, I could really compose the picture. I could understand what he was telling me. Okay, it's the logistics department. He's talking about the logistics department, something I really didn't get before. But this was the hardest class in terms of attention, because I had my full attention focused on him, trying to get the context, to get the follow-up questions. And what you observe in these situations is that your mind pays attention in all the rest that composes the communication, the language, the body language. You get much more of it The facial expressions, your eyes are wider, paying attention to the person's reactions, the facial expressions. All these, you're trying to paint the picture. Sometimes you ask once or twice. Once with a Spanish man, he was a little older too, with a really really heavy accent, and he was telling me that they work with handbag. And I say, I'm sorry, what was the name, Mr. No, no, no. Handbag, women's handbag. Okay. I asked twice, I didn't understand. The product itself was the focal point of our communication. Not at all. All right. He continues, and he started talking about the straps and the different fabrics. Oh, and then I say straps, and then he was making some gesture about the format. Okay, I connected. Handbag. Women's handbag. Okay, great. Now I got it. You know, so this is very, very important for us to practice this. We practice this going for videos and pushing. Remember, last videos we talk about the to be the congruency. How important is the congruency, to be congruent with what you do? So this is it. You need to put yourself in the student's shoes. Sometimes the communication is non-linear. Sometimes you lose a lot of stuff, but you still get it. You're still up to exchanging information, exchanging culture and questions, and things you are curious. And he was curious about some stuff about Portugal as well. We had a great class. Eventually, it was what the hardest one, the one that taught me the most, that opened my eyes for all these factors and opened my eyes to put myself in the student's shoes, something that we don't often do. And this is a classic huge mistake we make as teachers. We don't put ourselves in the students' shoes. Something that it was an eye opener. I hope this could be for you too. And if you have any cases similar, comment below. What was your hardest class? What was the student that taught you the most, that opened your eyes the most? And tomorrow, more videos here in the channel, more tips. And thank you. See you tomorrow. Bye. You only get yourself to blame.